Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today we have a beautiful glute and groin stretch. This is perfect for after or before a workout. The first portion of this class will be dynamic stretches, using our breath to flow back and forth, really getting the full range of motion in these muscles, and we'll be working more through the groins. So that is great before a workout. Get yourself all warmed up. And then the second portion of this class will be just a few simple stretches focusing on the glutes, which is a little bit better for after a workout to really find length and calm down the body. So you don't need any props for this class. Whenever you're ready, just need your mat and we can get started. Things first, we begin today in bound angle pose, sending the soles of the feet together, lifting up through the chest. Then we start to pull the chest forward as we slowly butterfly the legs. Just taking a few moments to wake ourselves up here as we begin to make these butterfly wings flap a little bit bigger, a little bit larger. Just waking up through the inner groins, noticing how this feels. Maybe pulling your chest a little bit closer. Listening to your body, especially if you are sore or tight today. And if this is your first movement of the day, some of these movements might not go too far as range of motion goes, and that is okay. No judgment. 2 more big breaths here. Really flap those wings. Right, and then we're going to release and gently come onto the knees, stepping this left foot up, kickstanding this right behind us. We're going to be coming into a side lunge. So just lunging it out. And inhale back up. Lunging on the exhales. It's okay if our knee comes a little bit past our ankle here because we're not staying in a static stretch. So as we're moving, we're still active in the glutes here, squeezing everything together, helping us to open up more in the inner groins. Beautiful. Just going as far as feels good. If you want to add in some more of these, more than I do, you are welcome to pause me at any time. Beautiful. We're going to do about 2 more. Really open up here. And then when you come back onto this right knee, we're going to come into extended side angle. So gently make your way there, extending the leg behind and turning onto the outer edge of the foot, reaching the right fingertips up overhead, finding this nice long line. And then we're going to straighten the leg. So we can have our fingertips maybe at the ankle or on the mat, just stabilizing here, just opening up. We can really start to feel this working through the groins. And we don't have to straighten the leg all the way. Maybe we just keep it at a little bend here, so we don't over or hyperextend ourselves. This is also a nice glute strengthener. Here we go in the quads. Beautiful. About 2 more. Still using your breath. And then gently release the fingertips, turning onto the ball of the foot. Scoot this left foot out just a few inches more. Planting the right fingertips, we reach the left arm up for a twist. And then exhale, try to bring the elbow to the mat, really working through the inner groins. And if we need to change our positioning here at any time to make yourself more comfortable, to make this a little bit more accessible, please do. This is about what feels good to you. Still reaching that right heel back. Beautiful, getting a nice full body range of motion here. And if our elbow does not reach all the way, that's totally okay. Still the same workout, still the same stretch. Beautiful. 2 more of these. And then we'll take a little rest. Nice. Exhale, come down onto the knees, turning to the wide edge of the mat. Coming into everybody's favorite frog pose. So we'll be taking little pulses here. Find what feels good with the hips and just start slowly rocking back and forth. Keeping the feet flexed behind you, only going as far as feels good. Might look completely different than mine. Maybe we take the feet in underneath the hips more. Maybe we take them out wide. Maybe we play with the angle, changing it up. Adding in any movements or any adjustments that feel good to you. Beautiful. Using your breath to open up with each movement before we reverse and go the other side. Maybe we hold here for a few seconds before we gently release and come into our little side lunge. And carefully bring the knees back underneath the chest to step the right foot towards the back of the mat. Making sure we take our time to find our positioning before we lunge it. Taking the hands to the hips, maybe they're above the head in some funky fashion, whatever feels good to you, whatever brings more joy in the body. Oof, maybe we're hearing some cracks, cricks, pops, snap, crackle, pops. Totally normal. I'm hearing them as well. We're waking up, or maybe we're calming down after our workout. Enjoying the release, the sweet release. The opening of our body. Beautiful. Still active in the glutes. Squeeze those butt cheeks. We'll take about 2 more of these. Like I said, making sure to pause and add in more reps whenever you'd like. And whenever you're ready, gently making your way to your extended side angle. Reaching that left arm up overhead. Beautiful, nice long line. Before we straighten the leg. Not dumping into the hips here. We're still nice and strong. Grounding down through the outer edge of the left foot. Beautiful. Just minor movements. Play around. Get to know your body. Get to know thyself. I don't know. Someone said that. That's a quote from somewhere, but I don't know the rest of it either. It's like, get to know thyself, something, something. Let me know if you know what that quote is. I feel like that's going to kind of bother me now. And if any of these movements are ever too intense, we can always just stay in a nice static stretch. We'll be making our way there soon. And we can release and come into our twist, coming up onto the ball of the left foot, scooting that right foot over to the side of the mat. Ground down through the left hand, reach the right up. And exhale, try to drop the elbow. Still sending that left heel back, energy out through the foot. It's like a lizard twist here. Maybe we're even building up some heat. We're starting to sweat a little or breathe heavier. Enjoying the fire. Beautiful. 2 more. Big reach. Take big breaths here. Make this last one really nice. And release. Dropping that left knee down. Coming to the middle of the mat again, but this time coming onto the feet, making our way into a little yogi squat. Trying to reach the heels down. It's okay if they don't reach. They can be up here. Still the same thing. Sending the pelvis down, taking a moment here to just open through the hips. Find your positioning. Then send the hips down, release the hands, reach the left up, and switch. Right. And we just keep switching, opening up a little bit more. As we reach to the side, still sending the pelvis down. Opening up through the shoulders and the back as well with all these arm movements. This is a nice full body stretch with emphasis on the groins and glutes. Beautiful. Keep moving. It's almost like we're painting a picture here. Washing a car. Wax on, wax off. Taking about 1 more on each side until we feel nice and open, nice and balanced out. Then we can take a moment, maybe closing the eyes, just feeling the breath, especially if we ignited some fire, some energy there. And whenever you're ready, we can gently blink the eyes open, take the fingertips to the mat, come to sit on the sit bones, facing the front of the mat, planting the right foot down, reaching this left ankle, and pulling the chest into the legs. Reaching up, using the fingertips to help press yourself closer. Now we are on to phase 2 of this class, the glute stretches. A more static hold. So we can slow down the breath if it ratcheted up there. Beautiful. 1 more big breath. See if you can go a little bit closer. And then gently release, swinging this left leg behind, bending the right leg, coming into pigeon pose. Taking your time to sink in, finding that sweet spot. We square the hips and send them down into the mat. Beautiful. Lifting up. Taking whatever variation your body is calling for today. Getting more into the glutes if we fold over the right leg and come down onto the elbows or onto the forehead. That usually sends more of the activity to the glutes, but making this practice whatever you want it to be. Staying here for a few more breaths, finding some stillness, some quiet. And then on your next inhale, you can gently lift the chest, walk the fingertips back, coming back onto the sit bones, swinging this left leg around, planting the foot and crossing the right ankle over the knee as we switch sides and send that chest towards the legs. Sitting up nice and tall, nice long spine. I like to usually come up on the fingertips here. You bend the elbows, just really opening up through the chest as well, spreading through the collarbones. Getting as much as I can out of each little posture here. Maybe even taking a little neck roll. You can make this a full body flow. Beautiful, grounding down through the sit bones. Feeling ourselves open as we breathe. One more big breath. Fill the body and the brain with oxygen. And then expel it all out. Gently releasing, sending this right leg back, coming into our pigeon pose. Beautiful. Noticing where our breath is at now, its natural rhythm. Breathing nice and steady, just observing where it's at, not changing the flow of it, not forcing it to be any way. Just enjoying being with yourself right now. Taking this time for your body and your mind. Just a few more minutes. Noticing whatever comes up for you in these hip openers, if anything does, and sending it some love. Feeling whatever there is to feel, and breathing away any resistance you may be holding. One more breath. And then on the inhale, take the chest up. Swing this right leg around. We're sitting on the sit bones, tucking the left underneath as we come into a little twist here. Planting the right foot down, sitting up nice and tall, swinging this left arm around so the elbow hugs the knee as we lift up and twist to the right. Basically giving yourself a full body hug here. Really rooting down through the sit bones, trying to feel this glute stretch. One big breath. And then exhale, coming through center. Crossing the shin on top of the left. Rooting down and then just gently folding over slightly. Thinking of sending the pelvis and the butt down through the mat as we lift up through the crown and reach forward. This gives me a really deep sensation. And if this does not work for you, we can always take cow face pose as well, stacking knees on top of each other, or taking the shin in front. We're only here for about another breath. And then inhale, lift up, uncross the legs. To cross the left over, finding our gentle twist first, making your way here, and then lifting up, taking the left hand behind as we reach up, but simultaneously down, really extending ourselves, finding this extension through the spine. As we're taking up space, making this world and this life our own, because we deserve it, and we do. One more breath. And then gently come into our fire log pose or whatever variation works for you today. Enjoying this last moment of sitting up before we come to lie on the back. Finding your breath, coming back within, using your breath as your anchor always in any situations where we feel a little lost, maybe we feel a little scattered or overwhelmed. We can always anchor ourselves back into the moment, into our bodies, our true selves. this beautiful tool of the breath. And gently lifting back up, carefully unraveling yourself and coming to lie on the back. Crossing the right ankle over the left knee and pulling the legs into the chest for reclined figure 4. You can always take the hands over the shin and bend the knee if that gives you a little bit more deeper sensation, a little bit more access. Even though this is a static stretch, we can always make little adjustments to make ourselves feel better. I recommend you do so. And then try to find stillness, comfort, and then still. One big breath, pressing the lower back into the mat. And then exhale to gently release and switch. Beautiful. Maybe we're using our elbow to help open the knee just a little bit more. Breathing deeply wherever you're at. Tuning out any distractions, any sounds, any smells. Two more deep breaths. Fill the belly. Feel the contraction and expansion in the chest as we breathe. And exhale to release, crossing this right ankle to the knee, and then finding a twist to the right. Our legs and our back are not going to be flush against the mat. This is a different kind of twist, so if this doesn't feel good to you, please find what does. But this is a little bit more intense for the glutes and the lower back. We'll hold here for 2 breaths. And then gently come onto the back where we cross the left ankle to the knee and take the twist to the left. Gently lying the legs down. This may feel a little awkward, especially if we've never done this twist before. I don't do this one often, so this feels a little weird in my body, but we take what we need and we leave the rest behind. And we take 2 more breaths here. And then we can release onto the back and find our final resting pose. If that is corpse pose for you today, or maybe it's reclined bound angle, just finding a gentle one last hip opener. This time not pressing anywhere or forcing anything, just letting gravity do the work, pulling the knees down towards the mat as the hands rest on the inner thighs or the belly, taking your awareness back to the breath for these last moments. Finding some relaxation after the effort, after all this work, especially if we've taken this stretch routine after a workout or a different class. Releasing any tension in the forehead, in the jaw, maybe slightly opening the mouth letting the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe tucking the shoulder blades underneath. Letting the arms and the legs become heavy. Noticing the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. Flowing freely, naturally. Taking these few precious moments to yourself, quieting the mind, letting everything else go. There's nothing left to do in this moment, but be here. We can gently begin coming back into the body, maybe wiggling the fingers or rocking the head gently side to side. We can come back into the room and blinking the eyes open, gently making your way to one side before pressing up, where we take one final breath together. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, Anjali Mudra. Thank you for taking this time to open up and release the body. I hope you enjoyed this little stretch, static, dynamic class. Let me know how it went for you down below. Have a great rest of your day, my friends.